10% sources, 90% bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
College education.
Woo!
Yes, I mean, another game that maybe kind of rethink this topic a little bit more. I actually just beat yesterday. I played Inside. And I knew I was going to like the game a little bit, just because it's made by the developers that made Limbo, and Limbo's a great game.
I love Limbo.
I didn't like that at first. I mean, after seeing it played and like kind of knowing a bit more about it, afterwards I kind of grew to like it a little bit more. But at the time, it was just maybe a wrong time for me to play the game. But Inside, it's about 3 hours, maybe 3.5.
Yeah, please tell us, because I have not played Inside.
It is a fantastic game. I will not say storyline point to the game because it is a game that you have to play. But I did not expect the game to stick with me as much as it has. It's a game that I beat it, and as the credits were rolling, I was still thinking, like, what was this? Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't bad. It was an amazing game. Mm-hmm. But trying to think about, like, what does the story mean, stuff like that, and whenever a game makes me think about that, I know it's a game that is going to mean something to me kind of going along. Like The Last of Us was a lot like that, too. As you mentioned multiple times.
Did you expect to like that going into it?
Not as much as I did. I knew I was going to like it a little bit, because it's a puzzle platformer, and those are always fun. But I knew nothing about the game other than it was getting good reviews.
Did you watch any of the E3?
No, I didn't watch anything.
Okay, so you went in blind?
I went in totally blind other than IGN gave it a 10. That's all I really knew. And that doesn't always mean that much because The Witness got a 10, and I played a little bit of it. I didn't buy it. I played a little bit of it. I was like, okay, I can see why it's good. It's not for me. I'm not going to spend $40 on it. But I knew nothing about the game going in. Other than, like I said, it's made by the team that made Limbo, and it's getting good reviews.
So, yeah, The Last of Us, we can piggyback off that a little bit more. Last of Us was it was a game that I would say that like the hype was managed well on it, meaning that like what they showed off at E3 was like well received, but it never got like Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog does everything right, but they did a fantastic job of specifically like managing expectations with the game, like keeping them kind of like just at the perfect level. So when the game came out, like you were surprised. There were no spoilers or anything like that when the game came out, which was awesome. So like if something got spoiled from that game, I'd be like,
oh man, that would have been
devastated. So going into that game, I wasn't sure if I was going to love it as much as like I liked Uncharted 2, for example. So it was just kind of like a lot of like, okay, like I've seen this, but like I'm kind of like at that point I was kind of bored of the whole post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, but I think that's what a lot of people were thinking. Oh, it's another damn zombie game.
Yeah, and it's like I don't care really about this, and like even when they announce zombie games right now or zombie shows or films or something like that, I'm like kind of.
Kind of like they
what are you doing different with it?
Yeah,
exactly. You have to be doing something different.
Yeah. But in this case, they focus on the characters, which was a different scenario. I thought it was smart. I'm excited to see what they do with the next Last of Us game because
don't make it happen.
It's probably happening.
You don't want it to happen?
I don't want there to be another one.
You know it's
I don't want. At least if they make another one, I don't want it to be Joel O'Reilly. I want it to be totally new characters.
Why?
Because to me, their story is done. It's one of those things like it. That story was told perfectly in the 15 to 17 hours, including the DLC. I don't think they need to do anything else with it.
See, and
I mean, their story was told well.
Yeah, their story was told well. I don't want to see Joel and Ellie. I don't want to see a continuation of the story. I would like to see them featured in the game. But I would like.
Yeah, I don't mind them as a supporting character, sure.
Yeah,
I don't want to play as Joel or Ellie.
Yeah, I would like them to be in the game in some capacity. So I mean, I agree with you for the most part. Like. Kind of tying this into like television as of recently, like season 1 of True Detective, everyone loved. Like you have to make a season 2. The ratings were like through the roof, and then they did a season 2 of True Detective, and look how that turned out. So
I didn't even watch the second season because everyone
it was good, but I mean when you set the bar so astronomically high,
was it okay? Was True Detective is a little bit off topic, but was it with the same people or no?
See, no, completely different story, which is the route that you typically want to go. But the problem is that with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, that chemistry was just lightning in a bottle.
So wouldn't you say though, since Joel and Ellie was so great together that if you do a different character...
See, I would. But the problem, the difference in that is that I think the creative talent that's working on it. So the
Yeah.
creator of True Detective, the writer / director that directed some of the most fantastic episodes of season 1, didn't come back and direct season 2. He wrote it, but he didn't direct it. And I think that's like, if you had all hands on deck that were originally on it, then sure, then continue it. But it's a situation where you have to have everyone come back that were initially part of that lightning in the bottle process, and if you don't, then something's going to be missing.
Yeah, and at Naughty Dog, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, with the exception of maybe voice actors.
Yeah.
You know, because Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson. I mean, Troy Baker probably could still be in it because he can do anything.
He's perfect.
Because it's a voice, he can do whatever voice he wants.
Yeah.
He could still technically be in the game. I don't think that Neil Druckmann would put him in the game then, because I think everyone kind of had the expectations of, well, it's Troy Baker in another Last of Us game, it's going to be Joel.
Yeah.
Or they're going to keep going back to Joel and not focus on who this new character is.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he voice somebody in Uncharted?
Yeah,
The brother?
he voiced Sam Drake, but it's a different property, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different
But
IP.
when I heard that
People
voice,
know
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah,
that was Troy Baker.
Baker's phenomenal.
He's
in-
fantastic. I couldn't believe
Troy
that
Baker,
was the
Nolan
same
North.
guy.
That could be a topic, too, just great voice actors in video games.
Yeah.
But yeah, Troy Baker, Nolan North. Nolan North played, what the hell is his name? The cannibal dude at the end of the game in Last of Us.
The cannibal dude.
That when you're playing as Ellie and you have to run away from him in the kitchen on
Oh.
He plays Nathan Drake. That's the same voice actor.
You know, I would. He sounds
Really?
more like his brother, not like Nathan. He sounds more like his brother in that game, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds more
I
like
didn't know
Sam.
that.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
So-
I mean, you could just look up their IMDb pages for these guys and just be blown away by everything they've done.
Until I had a pretty good voice acting, I would love to voice act.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's super hard.
If you ever are interested in voice acting, there's a great documentary on Netflix called "I Know That Voice." Watch it. It's really
I'll have to
good.
watch
I will
that.
check it out.
Yeah, I have not watched
I'll be part
that.
of Netflix account.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
So another game that I would say, I know you're a huge Zelda fan. Was it Link Between Two Worlds?
Link Between Worlds is a phenomenal game.
Yeah, it was the most recent 3DS version. Zelda
Yes.
game, right? Yeah.
Well, second most. Triforce Heroes came out. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, Link Between Worlds I was not expecting to like, because I had not played a top-down version of Zelda in recent memory. Before I did, but I was a baby when it came out, so I didn't remember it. But
Yeah.
that one I did like a whole lot.
Oh, it's incredible.
And then we actually talked about that before, about how it was cool because you could go through the game non-linear, and you could kind of go out of order and defeat bosses in pretty much whatever order you wanted to. I love that aspect of that game. I wish more games would do it. That'd be awesome if you could like do that in like an Elder Scrolls game, but it's like leveled in a way in which you have to level up to
Yeah.
defeat a certain boss. But I think that's a really cool aspect of the game. Is just like they give you everything that you need, and it's just out there, and you can pick whatever order you want to go and get it. You could defeat the last boss first, or you could defeat them.
Well, I can't do the last.
Well,
one
one of
first.
one of the later bosses.
Yeah.
One that you typically
when
would
you go to the Dark World and the Light World, you
Yeah.
can choose the order you go through for most of them.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of that game. And then basically it was almost like they took what Zelda typically does with like the 3D Zeldas on like N64 and Wii, and they were like, let's just give them everything that they would ever need. And it's just easily accessible for you to just grab it. And I thought that was a really cool aspect of that game. I hadn't seen that with a game before. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the top-down Zeldas have always done really well. Because, like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker are all phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal games. But I think they lack the accessibility of the top-down ones.
Yeah.
If you think about the original Zelda, really hard, not an easy game. But when you look at Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, they're challenging, but you never feel overwhelmed because you do have that nice field of view in the game.
yeah. And even like talking about like the 2D aspect of that game too, I can't think of anything that I've seen do that before, where you could like pop into 2D mode and then pop back out to 3D mode. It was so cool. It was such a because it made you think obscure, and it made you like, okay, so how am I going to get to that point? And then you have to like kind of like navigate through the level to figure out like how you're going to go from between 2D and 3D to navigate to whatever point you're trying to get to. I've never been forced to think like that in a game before, and I really enjoyed that. And it wasn't super hard. It was kind of like, I'd say, like a happy medium between hard and easy. So
Yeah, and Inside will do the same thing if you get to play it,
Mhm.
where you go, this is the obvious solution. I'm going to do this first. That was the wrong answer.
Yeah.
You're going to die a lot, but it never feels unfair.
which I like about that.
Mm.